how I do love my liberty in the morning.
Grandfather, could you tell me who General Brasch is?
Sweet democracy! Did your school teach you nothing, Jimmy? The first thing it should be teaching is who General Brasch is.
The first thing teacher taught me was to dive headfirst into any problem, irregardless of consequences.
Okay, you know what? That's a good close second. I guess I'll be doing your teacher's job again and teaching you who General Brasch is.
Oh, goody, it's story time with grandfather again.
Gather around, kids. It's time to learn about the greatest man in Super Earth history.
Woo, oh goody, Super Earth history, yay!
One of my proudest moments in my long, illustrious life was when I met General Brasch in the flesh years ago,
back when I was a younger man and I could talk in a normal voice. I met General Brasch when I was just a cadet in Helldivers training school, and let me tell you, he is quite the spectacle of a man. He stands 7 feet tall, 350 pounds of pure democracy-filled muscle. And just to show off how much he believed in Super Earth, he walked up to our class, pulled out a railgun, and bent it clean in half, just to show us how strong he really was. But that's enough anecdotes from Grandpa Democracy. Let's get to General Brasch's true history. General Brasch was born on Super Earth, because of course he was born on Super Earth, to a loving mother and father. He first tried to apply to become a Helldiver when he was only 5 years old, but he was turned down for being too young. He returned when he was 14 to try to sign up again, even though he was still too young, but this time, he challenged the recruiter to an arm wrestling contest, and if he won the arm wrestling contest, he'd become a Helldiver. He broke the recruiter's arm. But after proving his strength by, snapping a recruiter's arm in half, Brasch quickly became the most talented recruit in his class. He broke records for marksmanship, grenade throwing, even liberty drinking. And it's said that his liberty, he drinks it while it's still boiling because he needs more time to fight the enemies of Super Earth, and waiting for it to cool down would waste that time. Brasch finished training and first saw combat against the Terminids, and he was instrumental in capturing them so they could be farmed by Super Earth in the future to gain valuable Element 710. It is said that he once killed 7 Chargers by just throwing a railgun at them after it had run out of ammo. After this incredible feat, Brasch was quickly promoted to General, where he demanded a diving board be installed on his Super Destroyer, as he does not use a Hellpod. And this is because, as he quotes, "The flag of managed democracy is all I need to protect me from orbital entry into a planet's atmosphere." As impossible as this seems, the story gets more ridiculous. It's even said that General Brasch has developed telekinetic abilities to rival those of the Illuminate. Multiple reports have said that he has now developed the ability to yell "bang" and destroy automaton tanks. Now, does all of this sound unreasonable for one simple human Helldiver to do? Of course it does, because I made up every single word of that story. Now, why did I just lie to you for about 2 minutes, dear viewer? That is because there is little to no confirmed information in the game or from the developers about General Brasch. He is completely an enigma. Most information we have about General Brasch, whether it's in-game or from forums online, is pretty much complete fabrication just to hype up the lore of General Brasch. But I think this is about enough of the Super Earth approved stories about General Brasch. Let's dig into who he really could be, or if he exists at all. Grandfather, are you implying that General Brasch could be made up?
Oh, no, Jimmy, I would never imply that. Do not call the democracy officer. This is, merely a, hypothetical in, political shenanigans. Yeah, political shenanigans.
So the first theory we have to dig into today revolves around an incredibly treasonous idea. Something that would make democracy officers shake in their boots. So buckle in, dear viewer. General Brasch is dead. That's right, I said it. General Brasch could very well be dead. Notice how he never shows up in the flesh in the game? In the training area, he's just a disembodied voice yelling at you. In those Super Destroyer tips, he's just an animated figure. Why is that? One simple reason for this could be because Brasch is only a human, and it's said that he fought in the first Helldivers Wars, which took place about 100 years before the current events of Helldivers 2, and I suspect that Super Earth stays far away from body augmentations after what happened with, the cyborgs and Cyberstan and all the, robotic uprisings. By the way, if you want to learn more about the Automatons, you should totally check out my video on them. Links down below. But this leaves General Brasch as just a mortal human, no augmentations, and him living 100 years would be insane, and considering he was of fighting age in the first wars, it's quite likely that he's just passed away of old age. Even if he survived all of those ridiculous battles, all the great stories about him, he's old, he's getting crusty. It's about time for him to be shoved into a box in the ground. But why would it benefit the Super Earth government to keep up this charade that General Brasch is still alive? Everyone knows he's human, a remarkable human, but he's still human, and everyone in the game is just mortal, so they gotta go eventually. What does it benefit the government to make it seem like he's alive? Well, it's important to have a hero figure for the army here to follow, and General Brasch fulfills that role. If people found out General Brasch is dead, this would really hurt the fighting morale and spirit of the Helldivers. And this could even hurt the general populace's morale, and it might cause a collapse of managed democracy itself, which, by the way, would be quite bad for the leaders of said managed democracy. So it would make sense to maybe say, take some old voice recordings from General Brasch, splice him into new training videos to make it seem like he's still alive. You take some old recorded training content to show to the new Helldivers while they're learning, and boom, General Brasch is fine. He's not in a box on the ground. He's totally fine. He's walking around all right. He's dead. He's probably dead. But oh dear viewer, if you're calling up your democracy offer because you thought that idea was treasonous, you thought General Brasch being dead is treasonous, oh, I've got some worse to say. General Brasch may have never existed in the first place.
Huh?
But before you report me to the Super Earth government, hear me out here. Previously, I mentioned that Brasch has never been seen in person. This could also be explained by him just simply being a voice actor who's got a charismatic voice and is trying to, lead the Helldivers to victory. That would explain the voice just being in the training area, the training videos just being animated, no real videos of General Brasch. He could just be a random dude in a room doing voiceovers, like me. Oh, this is getting real. Oh no. I'm just a dude in a room doing a voiceover. Oh my god, am I General Brasch? But back to the point at hand here. I'm not losing my mind, don't worry. I'm losing my mind a little, it's okay. But why would the Super Earth government create this elaborate figure just to lead the Helldivers that doesn't actually exist? Well, throughout history, we can look at a few famous and infamous examples of generals who had a few things in common. Great tacticians, planners, but also incredibly charismatic and, egotistical a little. But a couple examples of this are General Patton from World War II and Napoleon from, the Napoleonic Wars. Both smart generals, great tacticians, but also very charismatic, and people wanted to follow them. So looking at Super Earth's style of government, we've got the managed democracy, which essentially means people cast their votes, but their votes are cast for them for the leaders that the rulers think are best. So that doesn't lead to a lot of opportunity for charismatic figures to rise through the ranks. So it may be the Super Earth created this charismatic figure because they needed someone to lead the troops effectively, and they knew none of them could pull off the job. They knew they were incapable. So by creating this great charismatic figure who won all these great battles, did all these great deeds, and saved Super Earth so many times, it gives a real good rallying point for the people of Super Earth to get behind. It gives them a reason to join the Helldivers, feel like they're fighting for something important, when in reality, he doesn't exist, and they're fighting for the profits of Super Earth. Oops, did I say that out loud? Might have said that out loud. But, so there it is. I've said it. General Brasch might already be dead, or have never existed in the first place. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love if you hit that like button down below, and consider hitting that subscribe button to stay tuned for more content like this. Thanks, and I'll see you guys in the next treasonous video.